just a little short video that I thought would be helpful to the group. Wanted to just share a couple of little things for you, especially if you're a new Bernina owner, or maybe you just enjoy a refresher on things, because sometimes things change. Every update, firmware update on our machines always changes something. And so I wanted to kind of take you through. I took my machine in for its annual service last week, and I did want to mention I live 80 miles from my dealer. And if you live a long way from your dealer, I want to encourage you to call them when it's time for you to have your machine serviced, and tell them that you are a long drive. It's not just around the corner for you. And ask them if you can make an appointment to bring your machine in and have it serviced and take it back home with you the same day. So that's what I have always done. I've had my 770 4 or 5 years now, and every time I've had it serviced, I've done the same thing. And I usually look at a date a month out. I don't want my dealer to think that they have to bend the rules for me. So the 1st of May, I asked if I called and asked if I could bring my machine in on May 26th. And could I please get an appointment with the tech and have it serviced that day? And I would wait, and that way I could bring it back home with me because I live so far away. And they are happy to do that for me. And so while I was there, I just spent the day, I think it was 3 hours or 3.5 hours. I did a little shopping in the store, and the rest of the time I spent with my friend Margot Ryan, who is the Bernina educator at my local dealer. And we played and played on Q16s and Q24s, and we talked about all the new things that come with the most recent firmware updates, and just had a great time, and the time just flew by. And it was great. So that's just a suggestion you could try. So I'm getting ready. I'm working on the block of the month today, and I know, I'm surprised too. I'm late again. But anyway, I was quilting last week, and I made a little 36 by 36 quilt that had some cotton and some flannel in it. And you can see here that it made a terrible mess. Terrible mess. Plus I was using Aurifil thread, which has some lint. I like to use Aurifil. I always use Aurifil, and I use Thread Art thread for my embroidery thread, and Invisifil in my bobbins. And the other day I posted something on the group, and I said I clean and oil my machine every day. And someone commented and said, "Did I really hear you say that?" And yes, I did really say that. I sew a lot, and if you do too, you should clean your machine every day. You may not need to oil it every day. I live in a very dry part of the country. I am in the Midwest, and in the wintertime we do supplement our heat with a wood stove, so it's always dry in my house. And the oil that's used is a silicone oil. It's not a regular sewing machine oil. And so I don't know about anyone else, but I love my machine. I love it, and I'm going to take care of it because I want it to last as long as I'm alive, I guess. And I'm using a long bristled little brush, and I'm going in between. There's a crevice that's in between here. I hope you can see that my little brush is going all the way in there. And I'm cleaning this out, and let me get my tweezers right here. So look at that. And hope you can see it. Just that little ball of lint can cause my machine to give me the 1010 error message. Just that little bit. Your machine is covered with sensors that help protect you and your machine. So you might think your new machine is just a piece of something you should throw away because it doesn't work right. But the truth is, it's protecting you. When it comes up and it jams up or it gives you the 1010 error, it's telling you something is not right and you need to clean, oil, rethread, all of the above. You know, something is in the way. And when you're sewing with cotton fabrics, flannels, batiste even, I mean, you know, it doesn't take much. And this is a rotary hook system. So it turns this way, not this way. And it's a little bit different system than what a hook system really is, but we call it a hook. And inside the bobbin case, or this hook system, sorry, this is not the bobbin case, I told you wrong. This is the bobbin case. This is the hook. There are two little felt pads. I hope you can see them in there. Let's see. Yeah, two little felt pads here and over here. And so you don't want to take those out. You know, when you're cleaning it, sometimes it looks like they are lint in there, but they're supposed to be there. And let me get my oil open here. They're supposed to be there. And they take 1 drop of oil in each one. I'm kind of sloppy because, and then I put a little oil down here on my hook race, and I'm done. So now then, let's put this back. Make sure I got it good and clean. This is just an old t-shirt that I cut up. I find that these work so nice. Just an old, whoops, sorry, everybody okay? Just an old t-shirt. All right, so I'm just gonna set my hook on there, my hook race, and I'm just gonna stick it in there. Usually it'll pop right in, but of course today it won't. Come on. It moved. It moved. And maybe I didn't have it lined up right in the first place. There we go. Another thing you can do is use your thumbs to put it in. If you try to hold on to the little spindle, it'll just roll. It spins, so it won't work. You have to either put it on top here or hold it with your thumbs and just line up the hole in the race, the hook with the gray mark that's in there. I have another video on how to do that. And so something else that you should clean when you're cleaning your machine, and you see I'm covering up where I've already cleaned, and now I'm going to lower my presser foot, is up in here. There are an awful lot of fuzzies that can get gathered up in here. And I usually bring down my threader, my automatic threader, and clean it off. Get it nice, everything nice and clean. And I'm getting ready to stitch a quilt block, so I am going to put in a 65-9 organ needle. So stick that in there. The dogs think somebody's at the door, but I think it's my husband banging around, putting something away. So I always use organ needles, they're my favorites. Also, I'm gonna sweep off the back of my stitch plate. I do that too every time. And I'm going to put my needle in, and then I'm going to show you a little trick which I learned from Tula Pink. I use my fingernail and hold my needle up in there, and then I just tighten the screw enough just to hold the needle, and then I use my little needle screwdriver, and I just sort of finger tighten it. Don't crank on this, otherwise it won't work. My phone is giving me trouble. There we go. Now I think I got you. Nope, I lost you. Anyway, so here we are. We're putting in the needle. And I was telling you that just finger tighten this. Don't crank on this or you'll break the end of the little screw off up in there. And here's a neat little trick to help you know that you have your needle in correctly and all the way up into the holder. If your needle threader works and the wire goes through the little eye, it's in correctly. Your needle is in correctly. So there we go. So now I'm going to put my stitch plate back on, and I will put my presser foot back on, clean up my mess, and put my presser foot back up, clean up my mess. And this is a D foot, so I've got to put down my dual feed, and I am ready to stitch a quilt block.